So guys, Elon Musk has finally departed his DOGE department and he's just going to participate in government role as an inactive member or just, reduced functions. And what does this mean for progressives? Also, is this the end of Elon Musk political prowess or is he going for something bigger that we don't really know yet? Anyways, let's have a listen.
Billionaire Elon Musk is leaving his role as a government top advisor after just 4 months on the job. It comes a day after he criticized US President Donald Trump's budget plan. Musk had been hired to slash bureaucracy and fraud, but he became increasingly unpopular with US voters and some in Trump's inner circle.
Yep, that's about it. And now is the time to listen to the netizens.
Hey everyone, I want to take a moment to debrief on some big news, which is that last night Elon Musk announced that he will be departing the White House and he was unceremoniously offboarded from the White House and his special government employee status. Now, what does this exactly mean? We don't know yet, but what we do know is that over the last 150 days, he has wreaked absolute chaos on the federal government, and it will take years to clean up the mess, and we will hold him accountable. So let's talk about what he did during his tenure in this role. He came in on a fury of lawlessness and chaos, fired thousands of Americans whose lives are still in chaos, many of which have not been restored. He helped to dismantle federal agencies illegally. He is part of why there are now over 200 lawsuits against the Trump administration for lawless activities and dozens of injunctions requiring that jobs be reinstated and funds are returned to the communities and organizations for whom they were allocated. And he got his hands on the most valuable data of the American people available.
I totally agree with what she said. Once Elon Musk took over the DOGE office, oh man, we witnessed a number of employees being cut off from the system. We witnessed big corporations like, let's say, USAID dismantling its office, laying off workers, and not only in the United States of America, but also outside the USA. And Elon Musk has said a fair share of controversies too, like for instance, him being associated with the acceptance of the white South Africans as part of refugees who are escaping genocide that doesn't really exist. Another thing that I know so many people are concerned with is data privatization. Of course, DOGE getting personal information or information from these companies that have been cut off from the system. Of course, they're getting little details that could actually be used in such activities that are not pleasant to the common American. I think the DOGE department has kind of done more harm to the American people than good, even though they'll say that they have saved so much by having the DOGE department.
And he leaves the federal government, if he is actually indeed leaving, which we don't really know, with billions of dollars in new contracts. In fact, we know that he's used his time to help open doors for his Starlink company to take over federal communication systems. We know that he has been priming the pump for billions of dollars in SpaceX funding to flow to his private business, and we know that some of these DOGE staff have been downloading sensitive federal data and feeding it into his private AI system. So in addition to that, we know that he fired many of the regulators and inspectors and worked with the Trump administration who he felt were in his way. So how do we evaluate what he's done? I would give it, of course, an absolute fail. But I think, all joking aside, we have to be clear on the consequences and what this means for the American people, and to understand that this isn't over yet, because DOGE is still there. In fact, we know that there are still dozens of DOGE employees implanted in federal agencies and federal adjacent institutions across the federal government. They've gotten more aggressive over the last several weeks, trying to enter congressional offices. And now, starting in the next few weeks, we think they may try to attack more civil society organizations. In fact, we just learned yesterday that the DOGE subcommittee will be calling a hearing continuing to attack nonprofit organizations and philanthropy. And we know that there will be a continued effort using the tools of the budget and OMB in particular to try to eviscerate these programs. In fact, we got news yesterday that the White House will be transmitting their rescissions package to make DOGE cuts permanent through the budget next week. And that is on top of the disastrous reconciliation bill and on top of an FY26 bill that cuts these federal programs even far more deeply. So the fight to protect our communities will continue. We will continue to be vigilant. We will continue to fight back. We will continue to organize. We will continue to use the courts. We will continue to use Congress. And we will continue to raise the voices of our communities to tell those stories and to fight back. And that is where we are at, and we will hold them accountable.
Can we just acknowledge now, other than that, can we just acknowledge the last controversy that Musk has been involved before, leaving the DOGE department? Like, we have all had the news of Musk being frustrated with the budget bill that has been proposed in the Congress. It's just a shocker that it gives that impression that he's such a spoiled billionaire who is not impressed by a system that he himself helped build. Maybe he wasn't involved in setting the bill, or there's a way that the bill also affects his companies. Who knows? But it was such a shocker that he was he was insinuating some form of criticism to the same bill that DJT and his conservatives, took it to Congress and rooted for it. Musk wasn't having it. Now, another rumor is about Musk and Katie Miller. People are insinuating, or people are putting in second guesses that maybe Musk has a thing or two with Kate. And for those who don't know, Kate Miller, she is the spouse or the wife to Stephen Miller, and it seems like she's gonna be heading DOGE, if I'm not wrong. I think she's gonna be heading DOGE, and how moving to DOGE seems to be solidifying the speculations of people saying that maybe she's having an affair or a relationship with Musk. But anyways, you just take a listen to what people are saying.
Holy juicy gossip. Did you hear about Stephen Miller's wife, Katie Miller? Stephen Miller is the author, or one of the authors of Project 2025. And his wife, Katie Miller, is an equal piece of trash. But she works for the White House. And apparently, she decided to leave her White House post to go work in the private sector with someone else who just announced that they're leaving government. Who just announced they're leaving the government? Oh, Elon Musk. So the rumor is that Elon Musk and Stephen Miller's wife, Katie Miller, are having an affair. And if you want more juice, look on Twitter, because apparently Stephen Miller and Elon have been beefing. I don't know, I'm not on Twitter, I don't subscribe to that bullshit. But that's the word on the street, that Stephen Miller's wife, Katie Miller, and Elon having a relationship, going off into the private sector together. This administration is a gift that just keeps on giving.
And if you thought that was enough, there is more.
Morning, guys. Happy Friday. I thought I'd stop in this morning for a little Friday foolery. Hopefully this will give you a chuckle to start your Friday morning. Okay, let's talk about Elon Musk and his 9th attempt to get one of his SpaceX starships launched successfully, right? Launched into outer space. Well, for the 9th time, it blew up. Wonk, wonk, wonk. Anyway, Elon, you may not be able to get your SpaceX Starship launched off successfully without an explosion, but you sure as hell can leave Washington with Stephen Miller's wife on your own. Guys, it is rumored that Stephen Miller, let's say he instructed his wife to keep an eye on Elon Musk, right? I heard a rumor said that he asked her to share her honeypot, or however they use that phrase now. But she was supposed to, let's say, cozy up to Elon to get him to do Stephen Miller's bidding. Well, that worked a little bit too well. Baby, whatever Elon was throwing, she said, hey, Stephen Miller, deuces, dog. That man leaving Washington with your wife. Yes, Katie Miller, Stephen Miller's wife, has officially resigned from the Trump administration. And she going to work with Elon Musk full time. You bet she is. Stephen Miller, I think you were a little too smart for your own good. So you sent her in there as a spy, as a little decoy, right? Whatever he did when he got hold to her. Whatever he did to her, baby, erased you completely from her memory. Elon Musk say, I'm leaving Washington with something. So guys, I heard yesterday that Elon and Stephen Miller was on Twitter going back and forth. You know, they were having it out. It tends to leave a man a little bitter when you snatch his wife. Yeah. So, I guess we could say a win for Elon. Finally, a win for Elon Musk. Seems to be. He's the one with the woman on his arm. And you all know by December she'll be pregnant. Because, you know, he has this fetish about, you know, populating the world with his seed. So she's going to be good and knocked up in a few months. How does it feel to see your wife walk out with a man that you sent her to spy on? Guys, it's Friday foolery. I hope this gave you guys as much as a giggle as it gave me. So, before I get out of here, I just got one question for Stephen Miller. Steve. Hey, Steve. Is it great again yet? my damn friend so nosy. Happy Friday.
Guys, imagine you are Steve Miller and you come across this video. How do you react? I feel like it's kind of mean. The laughter in itself, man, is just instill pain in someone's heart, bro. Like, yo, this lady's heartless. Anyways, before going to that Kate and Steve and Elon controversy, I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit. Now, when she started with saying that Elon Musk's spaceships or rockets are exploding or bursting in flames upon launching, I personally don't see a problem in that, because in this life you have to experiment, you have to try until you get something right. Because if, for instance, Elon wouldn't be doing these experiments, I think if he just decided to make a spaceship or a rocket and just launch it at once, then that would be rather disastrous than, trying several and then coming up with a final product that is actually sure and safe. For instance, we have to appreciate Elon on the fact that he brought back the stuck NASA astronauts who were stuck in space for around 9 months. That is something that I salute Elon for that. But anyways, let's now get into the controversy. Before I say that I think Kate is gonna work for DOGE, I don't think that is true, because from what I've heard, it seems like she's going to work for Elon in a private company, which might not necessarily be DOGE. So I don't know if it's not very clear. Guys, you let me know. I don't know what happened to Steve and Kate. Are they having a personal feud? Are they having a misunderstanding such that the wife has decided to take matters in her own hands and follow her own passion without the husband along the way? I really don't know what has really made her resign from the White House role. The speculations are just allegations and they're not facts. So don't hold me against it. It's just these people saying. Anyways, so Trump tweeted about him finally doing the last press conference with Elon as his counterpart, and I'm just gonna let you listen to it.
All right, let's see what Trump's doing today. So today is Friday, May 30th. So this is about today. He put this out last night. I'm having a press conference tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern with Elon Musk at the Oval Office. This will be his last day, but not really, because he will always be with us, helping all the way. That's a lot of commas there, Donald. Elon is terrific. See you tomorrow at the White House. Which is interesting because, Elon was just critical of the big, beautiful bill as he's like, I'm trying to save the government money and also get rid of the agencies that are investigating me. And here you are trying to spend a bunch of money. Shocker. So I wonder if he thinks the $150 million I think he donated to Trump is worth it. I mean, he may get, because of it may be worth it because of the things he got to do in the government, and then possible Starlink contracts with other countries with this whole tariff battle. But Tesla's in the dump right now. Hopefully continues that trend. I know for myself, I will never buy a Tesla, even though I wanted a Tesla at some point in my life. I will never buy one as long as Elon is involved. I will shift. I'd love to have one of the Chinese cars because I've been following them for a couple of years and they're way ahead of us. But if I had to buy American or something in America, I will do that. But it won't be a Tesla, that's for sure. So just like I won't support a certain country in the Middle East, anything they provide for the rest of my life, I will not support Tesla unless they get rid of him. And then I'm still going to give you like a 10-year penalty before I buy any of your products. But anyway, so yeah, do you think Elon has regrets at all for being a part of this and being so hated although he's got a new fan base, right? MAGA loves him now. So maybe MAGA buy all the Teslas.
Looks like we have our last ever press conference in the Oval Office with the Elon Musk, the head of DOGE himself, tomorrow. Can you believe it? I have a couple questions about this little True Social post. One is his child X going to be there? Is he going to tell the president of the United States again that he's not the president and to shut up? He said shut the F up, but I'm not really sure about that one. And then is he going to pick this child? Will he pick his nose? And put it on the Resolute desk again? Or will Elon even be in a suit since that's such a big deal for the Oval Office? So many questions. I know we'll have answers soon enough. Oh, Elon, even Fry's gonna miss you. And all the fake work you did with Doge. What are they gonna do without you? Let me know in the comments. Peace out, pumpkins. Nope, that's not an invitation to lick me with your sandpaper tongue.
So guys, another thing I wanted to ask is, do you think that upon DOGE starting off its activities, do you think the government has really saved something, like the way they were saying that government has saved some ish amount of money? Do you think that is true, or do you think it's just a smoke? Do you call it smokes and mirrors or smoke screen and mirrors? Yeah, you get the concept, right? Do you think that DOGE has really help the government to finally utilize its resources in the most efficient and effective manner? You let me know. I think it's only fair to get a perspective or opinion from one conservative and then we listen to how they think on their own side. Let's have a look.
He's out. Well, what does that mean? Is Elon Musk mad at President Trump? Is he leaving because he's unhappy about the spending? Is he unhappy about the one big beautiful bill? Or is that all BS from the left? Of course he's not mad at all that stuff. He was always expected to leave as the leader of DOGE after, I think, 130 days. He leaves a big flowery message on X about how wonderful the opportunity has been, how much he appreciates President Trump. Did he come out and say that he wants to see lower spending sooner? Of course, so do I. Anybody who's conservative and wants to save the republic would like to see the government spend less money. But he is not out because he's mad. There is no rift. There is no White House drama. You guys who are trying to perpetrate that drama or say that it's happening, speed bump, you guys are wrong. You're not only wrong, but you're dead wrong. And I have to think that you're smart enough to know that, or you're not smart enough to not know that. Again, Elon Musk is out. It was always planned. DOGE is going to continue. I like to see spending be cut as well. And listen, stop buying the okie doke. What did she say? The okie doke. Come on.
Is it really true that there is no drama in Elon's departure? I mean, if some people are seeing some sort of drama or some news is coming out, then that means that there is little aspects of drama in it. Anyways, guys, Elon Musk leaving Doge. Does it mean that he's ditching GOP for the sole purpose of, pursuing a different political path? Or is he actually doing so in order to save his companies or focus in his business, or trying to make a major comeback in politics when he actually understands what politics actually holds? Is Elon Musk going to win American hearts outside MAGA government, or is he actually ditch politics as a whole? Now, you guys have the most insane opinions. I would really encourage you to share them in the comment section down there below. Also, don't forget to check the original creators. Their usernames have been embedded in the stitched videos. With that, guys, I really appreciate you for subscribing, liking the video. Let's meet in the next one. Peace out.